Peace, 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 peace to you and yours, peace to you and yours. Can you hear me clearly? Let me know if you can hear me clearly. Please let me know if you can hear me clearly. And please pardon me for the lateness, This damn lecture got me in the lab and whatnot, working overtime. God damn it. Peace, peace. Y'all can hear me? Okay. I'm not going to start with the music because we're starting late. Let's do the roll calls, and then we're gonna get to the conversation tonight and whatnot. Keep in mind, I have a 9 o'clock lecture, a 9 p.m. lecture, which I'm pushing back to 9:30. Everybody who bought tickets to the Eventbrite, we're gonna push it back to 9:30. I still have some tightening up to do, so it's gonna be broadcast at 9:30. So let's get it popping. You feel me? All right, yeah, Brockton, Massachusetts in the building. Southside Chicago is in the building. All right. Indiana's in the building. Shout out to Indiana in the building. SC is in the building. Missouri's in the building. Richmond's in the building. Orlando's in the building. Philly's in the building. Nigeria's in the building. Come on, talk black to me. This is a global affair. Let me see something though. I'm gonna do something. Tell me if the volume changed or whatnot. Hold on. Matter of fact, let me see something. I don't even know if this damn microphone is hooked up. Boom. All right. Do you hear? Does it sound different now that I'm on the mic? Mississippi in the building, Minnesota in the building, Smyrna in the building, Canada in the building, Texas in the building, BK's in the building. And I'm talking about Rocky Mountain is in the building, Newark is in the building, Minnesota's in the building, Clayton is in the building, VA is in the building, Hopewell is in the building, Miami's in the building, Nashville's in the building, San Francisco's in the building, Washington State is in the building, Quebec is in the building, Long Island is in the building, Dominica, West Indies is in the building, Montreal, Canada is in the building, Huntsville is in the building. Mine is global. Houston is in the building. Dallas is in the building. It's a slight muffle. Hold on. You see the color? Does it sound different? I'm playing with the TV and whatnot. Okay, the blue. Shout out to Blue Pill. It's the blue. I said Budapest is in the building. You know what I'm talking about? Budapest. Maryland is in the building. Yeah, this is a new mic. So we figuring this shit out. Oh. Belly. Yes, Bell. Yeah, pardon me, guys. I had my pink pill on the phone. I had to take that call. You know, when the little ones call, you gotta pull up. All right. So can you hear me now? Can you hear me? All right. 313 in the building. Taliban is the Taliban is in the building. The globe is in the building. So yeah. Let me just go live real quick on the Grammington. You know what I'm saying? What Jada Kiss said. You niggas know the gram. We know Instagram. Y'all know Instagram. We know Grammys. So we here in the building. Shout out. Welcome to another episode of Third Eye Thursday. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your brother Red Pill, reporting live and direct. And I'm talking about tapping in. You know what I'm talking about? And yeah, man. Damn, what a difference a few days make. We was here on Monday chopping it up, getting it in and whatnot. So we here tonight just to let everybody know, if you're not on board and if you don't know, we have a demonstration that we've been planning for a few weeks coming up tonight. And it's amply entitled, right? Don't tell me that I'm not working with the motherfucking ancestors. It's amply entitled When in Rome. For those who don't know what that means, when in Rome, they tell you to do as the Romans do, right? In tonight's demonstration, I'm going to explain to you why that is a fatal flaw. You know what I mean? When in Rome, you better figure out something else. When in Rome, you niggas better either move like Carthaginians or your ass is toast. When in Rome, tread lightly, my nigga. When in Rome, don't dress like a Roman. You know, I can't say it any clearer. I mean, like I said before, I did a show and I said somehow the ancestors just work things. They work through me. Like I named the title of my lectures, and then the information in the news just start pouring in. You know, it just pours in, and then it solidifies the titles of these lectures ever since I started doing it. In Too Deep, Fear of a Black More Messiah, What Year of Fear, you know, Facts Initiative, Food, Art, Clothing, Technology, Shelter. So keeping up and carrying on tradition, we named this one When in Rome, right? And we named it When in Rome because we really wanted to stress to our brothers and sisters, especially when we started to see our brothers and sisters losing their way and begin to act like Romans, especially when people don't even realize the dangers of being in Rome and moving like a Roman and how that shit could impact you. You feel me? And how it impacts you and whatnot. So yeah, we hear it. So we're here now, and the lecture is going to be tonight. I've been doing a lot of studying for it. Y'all are in for some good information, because what I'm finna do, right, and is what I've been doing, and that's teaching. That's something that the conscious community or some of my quote unquote cohorts have stopped doing. And I'm not going to sit on this channel and start brushing off I'm not going to get into that mode. I'm not going to kick nobody when they down. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm holier than thou. And I'm definitely not going to take somebody's, what they call, I'm not going to use nobody for a doormat. But what I will say is I'm going to just keep it 1,000, and I'm going to stand on my truth. And like I said, what I'm here to do is to teach. That's my name is the Red Pill. And what the Red Pill entails, if anybody have ever watched The Matrix, the Red Pill is the pill that you take when you want to wake up. The Red Pill is the pill that you take when you tired of being in motherfucking the Matrix. The Red Pill is the pill that you take when you're ready to get off of the grid, right? And get out of the way, right? Not be in front of the cameras. You know what I'm talking about? Not be on some Hollywood shit. Not be on some lights, camera, action. Not try to be the center of attention in an illusion, you know, but rather fall back and do what needs to be done. And that's take care of your family, and especially these babies and whatnot. That's deal with your your core issues, your shadow self, doing your shadow work. You feel me? I've shared with the family, whoever been tapping in, you know what I mean? Shout out to all of the KTLians in the building. I've been very transparent about my struggles, and I've been very transparent about how hard it's been in the last few months, you know, dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety attacks, psychic attacks, you know what I mean? Just dealing with the fact that the whole fucking world is going crazy. And, you know, and I would be lying to you if I did not say that it has affected everybody. Some people it has affected in fatal ways. Some people it has affected in ways where they've been able to bounce back. Some people it's affected to the point where it has fucked up and compromised their mental health. Case in point, I went live in New York. I went live on the train. You know, I've been capturing footage and whatnot, and I just been broadcasting. I've been being a journalist, and I'm like, yo, every time that I go to New York, I'm noticing that the mental health of the people in New York are compromised. I'm not making this shit up. The mental health of the community, of our people, right? Black people, particularly, from all communities, from the homeless all the way up to niggas who, you know, wherever, all the way up to I don't even know what the top of that pyramid is, but I've been noticing a lot of people have been going through it. I noticed that a lot of people have been struggling with their shadow self, with their lower self. I've noticed that a lot of people have been dealing with the fact that Rome has launched a fucking war against its own people, right? I realized that people don't even realize that they're at war. They just realize that there's so many strings pulling at them, right? They have people telling them that they have to wear a face diaper. They have people telling them that they have to take juice and whatnot. They have to get shot up and whatnot. They have people telling them that you can't go outside. You can't cross the street. You can't do a lot of things. There's a situation where if you walk around anywhere in America now, the airports, Amtrak, Greyhound, you on a highway, niggas is looking in your car on the highway to see if you got a mask on. Everywhere that you go right now, they have branded our people, the Americans, the world. It's not a fucking American thing. Everywhere around the world where, you know, where people are quote unquote falling for the World Economic Forum agenda, the globalist agenda, to basically identify yourself with a mask. This is similar to when these quote unquote Ashkenazis and Sephardic Jews were in Germany and whatnot, and they gave them a star to wear to identify themselves. And if you didn't have the star on, people was looking at you like you crazy. Either you had the swastika or you had that star and whatnot. So fast forward to where we're at right now, either you have that mask on or you don't. And the way that they rock the people and whatnot, and the way that they've psychically, it's almost like hypnotized. It's almost like the people are hypnotized. Like I've equated it to the Matrix movie with Agent Smith. You know, the way that Agent Smith was morphing, the people were morphing into Agent Smith whenever Neo, Trinity, and Morpheus was moving through the Matrix and whatnot. The way that the Matrix programmed it was on some they live shit. The Matrix programmed the people they deputized the people to be the eyes and the ears of the system. So now when you move around, if you don't look the part, the people who are the eyes and the ears of the systems, them niggas will step to you. Try going into Walmart without a mask on with this Delta variant flying around, my nigga. Try going into Home Depot. You see the videos and whatnot. Even though, shout out to everybody who is not falling, you know, who's deciding they, you know, this is a conscious decision that they're making, that they're not going to fall into line and whatnot, and they're going to move the way that they want to move. Kudos to you. You know what I'm saying? Kudos to everybody who's like, yo, my life is not at danger and whatnot. I'm good. Kudos to you. Tonight, we're going to show
and we're going to draw parallels how modern day society, the modern world that we're living in right now, we're going to draw the parallels to ancient Rome, you know, and then we're also going to update it to show you who's directly in charge. And we're also going to show you where this thing is going, right? This is what is known as the Great Reset. It is upon us. And if it's not a subtle way, if it's not a subtlety, spirit is screaming out. If you can't hear the spirit, if you're not in touch with spirit, if you're not in alignment with spirit, you still feel it. You're like, damn, something is not right. Something is wrong. And it's more than just the quote unquote 319. It's more than just the invisible enemy. There's something taking place. Economic reset. There's a culture war going on. Social reset, right? A government reset. The governments are merging into one globalist government. It is taking place on our watch while we are witnessing it in real time. Okay, it is going down, right? Is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? You tell me. You know what I'm talking about? You tell me. We've all been students in school. We've all been in this university for the longest and whatnot. And I've stressed over the months and whatnot. I said, look, where are we going to come with a solution? Because the time is ticking, right? The time is ticking. But what I did also tell you is when you're receiving information and when you're tapping into these teachers and whatnot, and when you're tapping into these platforms and when you're getting your source of information, you have to do something that all master students have to learn. And that is the art of discernment. You have to practice what is known as the art of discernment, because we are in the matrix, and in the matrix, which is the illusion, all that glitters is not gold. I wish I had my bombs. I didn't set that shit up because it was too low. Boom. Right? It is important to practice the art of discernment whilst at war. It is not time to play around whilst at war. It is not time to be in your motherfucking ego whilst at war. This is not an individual thing anymore. This has to be a collective thing. But yes, it starts with the individual, but there has to be a level of collectivism. Who do you trust? Who's giving out the information that's helping you and preparing you to move in a room full of vultures, and who's preparing you to move through this matrix, man? Because this shit is life or death at this point. You know what I'm talking about? Who are you keeping up with? Who are you living vicariously through? You know how many, bro, my nigga, this has been an eye-opening experience for me, because I've been able to sit back and watch the quote-unquote crusades against the conscious community in the past few days. You understand? It's bigger than Polite. They utilize Polite as the catalyst to launch, you know, their attack against the whole community, and rightfully so. Rightfully so, because at the end of the day, this shit needs to be reset. The same way that the world is going through a great reset, this whole community, or what they call this community, has to be reset. It is a network, like I've said before. This is the conscious network. We meet online. We link up through motherfucking nodes and whatnot. When I do the roll call, we are tapped in all around the world, but we're not physically around each other. You don't know what I do when I get off this computer. You know what I'm talking about? I live a private life. My life is not on the internet. I don't put my baby, my newborn, I don't put my family on the internet like that. I learned from doing that. I learned from doing that. I had to learn the hard way. So I would rather live a private life. I would rather, you know, do what I need to do and stay out of the way. I'm not in the mix anymore. I removed myself. I told niggas before, I'm not coming back to Atlanta. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm not fucking with the energy in Atlanta and the shit that I seen and the shit that I heard. And just my spirit is like, stay away from there. I'm not fucking with New York. You know what I mean? The spirit told me, stay the fuck away from New York. That era is over. You know what I mean? You have to close the book. So that's what I did. I made the conscious decision to remove myself. So the type of reset that I'm talking about is the fact that this is a deregulated arena. And wherever you have deregulation, you don't have any rules. And when you don't have any rules, niggas run amok. They've been running amok since 2008. Okay. And who we had as the front line and who we had as our quote unquote firewall, the buffer that was supposed to stop shit like this happening, a lot of those people, which we call the elders, they're not either here with us anymore or they tapped out. They tapped out. And I don't necessarily blame them for tapping out. You know, I can't necessarily run to Bobby Hemmett and say, Bobby, we need you to, you know, straighten these niggas up. I can't run to Phil Valentine and be like, I need you to straighten these niggas up, because I did that. And he turned his back on me, you know? And I can't go to Dr. Sabi and say, yo, Dr. Sabi, this nigga's out here talking greasy about you. What you want us to do? Because he's not here with us anymore. I can't go to Delbert and be like, yo, Delbert, you people is out here stealing your bars and whatnot, and they're building their whole career off of shit that you said a man long ago. What you want us to do? You want us to call him out? He's not here with us anymore. I can't go to them and be like, yo, what's up with that council of elders that y'all niggas was talking to me about, and y'all told me and my brother like crash test dummies and whatnot to go and put the word out, and then you niggas backed out on us. I can't do that anymore because they decided that they don't want to police the community. They was like, let it fall. When Africa Bambaataa was accused of what he was accused of, to me, honestly, that was the beginning of the end. That was the beginning of the end with the whole Africa Bambaataa debacle. Me and Blue, we went to King Simon and Sinetta and said, yo, we should do a press conference. And then they went ahead and they did the press conference, and the rest is history. I don't remember seeing any elders out there. I don't remember any elders coming out publicly and basically distancing themselves. I don't remember that. And if they did, please somebody jog my memory. But when I saw that, I was like, okay. And this is about abuse. This is about sexual abuse. This is about molestation. You would think that everybody be on deck. Then they started hitting us up. Yo, what's going on with your man? I'm getting emails. I'm getting phone calls. People are saying that they've been ripped off, this and this and that. We need you brothers. We need you good brothers to stand up and say something. You know what I mean? We're going to back you. And then when we did stand up and say something, we got attacked by not just the elders turned their backs on us, and the community attacked us. I never forget it. And I would never forget you niggas. So people be asking me how I feel about what's going on. And I say like this, any Scorpios out there? Scorpios understand this language. When we finish with you, you're finished. That's just how it is. When we're done with you, we're divested. And if you don't know what divested means, go and look it up. So I'm the wrong person to ask about anybody's situation, because I don't have no horse in that race. I'm divested from that situation. And like I said, as a Scorpio, when I'm done with you, you're done. That's it. That's my statement. When I'm done with you, you're done. And there's a whole bunch of other niggas that their day is coming too, because I remember I got a whole list. All of you niggas who turned your backs, all of you niggas that was in that room that night, y'all all finished. It's only a matter of time. You know what I'm talking about? Keep your enemies close is what they told me. This is warfare at the end of the day. So it's spiritual warfare, and it's a whole bunch of other things going on. And like I said, this community could burn in hell for all I care. You know what I'm talking about? Because the worst thing that you could do is mislead the people's hearts and minds. The worst thing that you could do is play with people who looked up to you and basically was ready to motherfucking go all the way to the end. You could play with a person's pockets. You could play with somebody's feelings. But the minute you play with their heart and their mind, you have committed a motherfucking mortal sin. You know what I'm talking about? And that's something that this community is. It's not one person. It's not one person. And I'm not even going to call it a community. It's a network. You know what I'm talking about? It's a network. And it's everybody is not tightly, it's not everybody is not tightly knitted, and everybody is not chill and cool with each other. It's motherfuckers on different sides of the world. It's niggas in the UK, right? It's niggas down south. It's people on the West Coast. It's a whole bunch of, it's a peanut gallery in New York. It's niggas in Connecticut. You know what I'm talking about? It's people all around the place that's out here abusing the people, robbing the people, shitting on the people, taking advantage of the people. And they're doing this shit in a deregulated space. The same way that crypto is deregulated, this motherfucking conscious shit is deregulated. There's no, like I said, there's nobody to answer to. There's no penalty system. There's no reward system. There's no value system. This is a motherfucking get it how you live. When in Rome, my nigga. Get it how you, this is Rome. They need, you know, this shit is Afghanistan with the Americans in it. What this shit need is the Taliban to come and clean it up. Think about that. This shit is deregulated like America when they put that corrupt government in Afghanistan and they was running around doing what the fuck they wanted to do unchecked with the Taliban on the horizon. They need the Taliban to come and clean this shit up and implement Sharia law, which is translation. Sharia law is only regulation. Sharia law is regulation. They try to, oh, the Taliban, they're not going to let women go to school and they're going to make women wear burqas. Nigga, that's regulation. Until they figure shit out, they're like, look, put the fucking burqa on and stop twerking. You know what I mean? Stay in the house until we figure shit out. I don't agree with all of that. I'm not a Muslim. But I understand what the fuck they have to do in Orthodox Islam in order to bring about what they call Sharia law. So in this community where all goes, I'm talking about in the spiritual community, right? I'm talking about in the quote unquote metaphysical, the occult community. I'm talking about in the Kemetic community. I'm talking about an Israelite community. I'm talking about many different communities. Anything damn near goes. There are a few people out there that are standing the motherfucking line and they have a firewall up and they don't let the fuckery through. But at the end of the day, it's too many people that let the fuckery through. I'm using Sharia law as an example. I'm sure y'all can follow what I'm saying. Regulation. A penalty system. If you get out of line, even the gangs have the penalty system, allegedly. If you get out of line, you got to go scrap. Niggas will call you out for a fade and whatnot. You got to scrap up with the homies and whatnot. You gotta, you know what I mean? You're going to have to fight it out. You violate, you get out of line, you get too many infractions, nigga, you got to scrap. You got to get it in. If another set violate another set, they got big homie councils. They have a war council. In order for, if there's somebody, if there's a situation between different sets and a nigga want to push the button, he has to get the AOK from the big homies. There's a council. There's a system set up. So if the knuckle draggers have a system set up, why the fuck this community don't have a system set up? Nor do they ever want a system set up. So it has to die. You know what I mean? It has to die. And when it's reborn, there's going to be a lot of players who, to be honest with you, they got to die with it. You know? Because they disrespected and they desecrated a lot of the works of what the elders. There's elders that are in the ancestor realm. I call them the pantheon of ancestors. Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Ben, Dr. Clark, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Delbert Blair. Right? I could go on for days. There's a pantheon of master teachers who, when they were here, right, Sister Myra, when they were here, I don't recall recently, Runoko Rashidi, Baba Kalindi, Kevin Muhammad, aka Hafiz Muhammad. I don't recall them banging on each other, right? I don't recall them wilding on each other. I don't recall them double crossing each other. You know what I'm talking about? I don't recall that. I really don't. They don't have to like each other, right? Rising power to Dr. Africa. Dr. Africa and Dr. Sebi, they didn't get along. Dr. Sebi and Queen of Four, they didn't meet nowhere. They don't get along like they didn't get along like that. But you don't know that because that wasn't public. They wasn't sitting around bad mouthing each other in the public and whatnot. They wasn't running around making posts about each other and doing all of that other stuff. They had a difference of opinion. Dr. Phil Valentine and Dr. Sebi did not meet eye to eye at all. But you wouldn't know these things because this is something that they did not put out there, and they didn't run around creating wars and whatnot. I mean, it probably was behind the scenes amongst their followers, but you don't know that. It was a difference of opinion. Dick Gregory and Dr. Sebi, because of the carrots that Dick Gregory was using, and when Dr. Sebi said that's a hybrid, boom, that was a war right there. It was like, you fucking with my bag. So let's not act like that there wasn't contention in this community amongst the generations of elders who came before us. It was contention. I remember when Dr. Phil Valentine and Bobby Hemmett had drama. Big drama. You didn't know about that. I remember Dawood had drama with everybody. Brother Dawood, he was throwing everybody under the bus. But you don't see them up there debating. You don't see them up there fighting and whatnot. You know how much flack I received? I went on Doggy Diamond's show in 2014, right? And he interviewed me, and I talked about the debate and my disdain that I had for that concept, the way that it was being rolled out back then, right? I'm talking about the beginning of the debate era. And I spoke my mind. I didn't hide how I felt, even though I was aligned with different people who were in that genre, because, you know, from the gate, they knew that there was a contention among certain people that was like, yo, I don't know if that's going to bring us in a place where we need to go. I don't know if that's going to help uplift us. I don't know if that's going to be a continuing. I don't know if that's going to be an upgrade to all of this high level information that Bobby and Phil, Delbert, Hakeem Bey, C. Freemanel, Taj Tariq, and all of them was bringing. I think that if we have differences in the research that they were bringing and whatnot, there's a more civil way to handle it. Nobody really listened to that because at the end of the day, there was a lot of, there was a lot of pros and cons, and they ignored the cons. And when you hear the disdain that the world has for this community, they always bring up the debates. They always identify this community as a community where all niggas do is sit around and argue. And the fact that people who were considered to be woke or the knuckle draggers, if they press play on any of those, on the majority of those displays and whatnot, they got to hear vitriol. They got to hear black intelligent. I'm talking about the cream of the motherfucking crop of intelligent black men of our generation. I'm talking about you couldn't find more intelligent human beings, melanated human beings on the planet at that time who were able to basically yield and absorb information and be able to regurgitate information and recite information and remember and remember the Bible verses and all of this stuff. I was highly impressed. I'm not going to even lie to you. I was highly impressed, but I was impressed in the demonstrations of the master teachers when they were not debating. I didn't need niggas to have a dick measuring contest to make me feel like I was amongst some great people. I didn't need that. I was impressed by just straight up teaching. I was impressed by the books that were being written. I was impressed by the 8-hour lectures that Valentine was laying out. I was impressed with the shit that Bobby Hemmett was able to do off the top of his head. I was impressed on the shit that Dr. Delbert Blair was able to roll out. That shit blew my fucking socks away. Like I said, I was intoxicated with this consciousness when I got into New York in 2005. I was on vacation, my nigga, and I stayed. I fucking canceled my flight back to Miami and stayed up in this bitch, and I've been here ever since. You don't talk about. I was encapsulated. I went to go meet Dr. Ben one of those nights at the O'Berry Dempsey Center, and I'm sitting in the room, and I'm like, fam, I'm around Dr. fucking Ben. Like, I was like, this is surreal. This was like 05. I was in the O'Berry Dempsey Center with a motherfucking icon. And I was like, I'm not going back to the beaches in Miami. I'm not going back to South Beach. I was living in a mini mansion. I'm like, I'm not going back to the design district where I'm living it up. You know what I mean? Like a fucking boss. I'm going to stay right here. And I was staying at my grandfather. God bless him. He was living in a senior citizen's home. I was sleeping on a fucking mattress on the floor on 117th. Right before my son was born, and then I moved into my own spot with his mother on 129th. But prior to that, I had to be, I had to live very humbly while I was studying and inserting myself into a community that I was ready to die for. There was a debate. That's before the debate era, right? That's before the contention. That's before people was getting at each other and whatnot. That's before this shit was conscious gangbanging. Right? Phil Valentine Phil and Bobby was the top kahunas in the bracket at that time. They were the ones to get at. They were the top. Dr. Sabi was not fucking with nothing in the conscious community too tough. He was doing his thing, but he wasn't doing lectures like that. You never seen him on no Sonetta TV or any of those platforms. The only platform he came on was Know the Ledge Radio. That's when we were on Blog Talk later on in like 09, 2010 and 11 and whatnot. But he wasn't in the community. He didn't rock with that shit like that because he wasn't with certain type of ideologies. And he was like, all them niggas is sick and they eat pork and whatnot. So what the fuck do you want me to do? You know what I'm talking about? What you want me to do around this shit right here? So he had a whole island. He had land in Honduras that he was building out. He had estates, my nigga. He already accomplished what people are trying to accomplish right now. He already had that. He had a whole fucking mansion built out of glass. And nobody is perfect. Right? So he was like, I'm doing me. Respectfully. And we could have went and did our thing with him, got on some sea moss and got on some healthy shit, and we could have rode that wave, but we was like, you know what? Against his wishes, we're gonna stay in Harlem. And that kind of, I don't think that he was happy with that. I don't think that he was happy with that decision that we made, but we made that decision because he had plans for me and my brother and KT. He had plans for us. Thoughts on Coakley? Coakley was the truth. From what I remember, Coakley was the truth. Coakley was a master teacher, and Coakley was a master decoder. And the last time I seen Steve Coakley, it broke my heart. I saw him at a lecture, broke my heart. This whole thing where people they try to throw away they try to talk crazy and they try to talk out the fucking side of their neck, because a lot of the master teachers wasn't in this shit to be capitalists. They didn't master capitalism. I say it like I've always said it. It's almost like if you niggas are in college and you have a professor who's teaching you information, are you counting his fucking pockets, nigga? Are you pocket watching your professor? You know that the professor is either has a tenure or he's getting a check and whatnot. You're not trying to see if the professor has a fucking an exotic car outside. You don't care if the professor live in a mansion and whatnot. You're into the information that the professor is giving you. When the motherfucking bell ring, you pack your bags up and you go to your next class. That's how I used to look at my teachers. I wasn't concerned about if they're rich. I'm not pocket watch. I'm not a dick rider. You dig what I'm saying? I wasn't watching, yo, is this nigga's shoes European? Is he wearing Roman fucking fabrics? You know what I mean? Is he wearing designer? You know what I'm saying? I wasn't concerned with that at all. To be honest with you, if I seen him moving like that, I would have kind of been a little bit wary. Like, is this nigga a teacher or is he a preacher? You know what I'm talking about? Is he a teacher or is he a preacher? So then you have situations where some of the elders made their transition and they was not rich, and people hold that against them. And I understand that because this new generation is very materialistic based and whatnot, and they're pocket watchers. And, you know, they don't necessarily, it's almost like the poverty consciousness that they're struggling with. They deflect and they put that on the teachers and whatnot because they want to dick ride. They want to live vicariously through somebody who makes them feel bad that they have something that they don't. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the wealth, the real wealth, the shit that you can't take to the grave with you is your legacy, it's your integrity, and it's your character. And the master teachers who names that I put in my mouth and I just put out there, these men and these women are trillionaires compared to you broke ass niggas. Don't have no character, don't have no morality. You're piss poor spirits. You understand? Y'all don't have that. Some of your children don't even fucking like you. Y'all don't have, you can't speak about the elders if you don't have what the fuck they have, and that's integrity. Their names will live on forever, not in infamy. Their names will be etched into stone. Their name will be in museums. They will be held up as fucking great ones. And I'm sorry to say, this generation or this iteration of a lot of the teachers, your names will be in the mud and your shit will go down. Don't let them do a documentary on you niggas. Don't let them don't let the white man come in and do a documentary. It's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly. You don't have what they had. You don't have character. You don't have the integrity, and you don't research the way that they research. You don't have that. So they accomplish what the fuck they came here to do. A lot of them told you, I'm not of the flesh. I'm not into the materialistic shit. Even though I might have to struggle to pay my bills because that was a different time. They didn't have PayPal, nigga. It wasn't no Cash App. They didn't have Super Chat, nigga. These niggas, Bobby Hemmett was doing lectures and he had the fucking acetate with the fucking projector. This is dinosaur times. People wasn't running around. Nigga. Malcolm X had $5 in the bank, to my understanding, when he made transition after the nation fleeced him and after that whole debacle that went down and whatnot. But does that take away from who he is right now, from the richness in his name, the fact that his name is priceless? He's an icon. He's an icon because he did the work. The work is going to live on longer than you, my friends. Focus on the work. Don't be dissuaded. Like I said, this is the separation between the wheat or the mice and the men in the wheat. And what's that wheat and what? mayor. You know, I'm not doing this shit to boost my ego. I could give a fuck. I gave up dressing up. I used to dress up more than anybody in this whole. I mean, I was a clothes horse. Anybody that was outside with me can attest to that, nigga. I was fresh to death. The wheat and the tares. I was fresh to death. In the 90s when it mattered, my nigga, and I wasn't buying my clothes either, you bum ass niggas. How dare you go into these people's stores and give them the fucking money that these hard-earned people done put up? How dare you niggas brag and boast because you could go into these people's store, these Roman stores, these Batiman stores and buy that? We wasn't buying nothing, you bird ass nigga. We wasn't even asking our mama for it. We wasn't doing none of that. We was Robin Hood. And I'm not talking about the crypto app, you bird ass niggas. I'm not talking about the app. We was like, we taking the cotton back. That was our mentality. We was young and dumb. We was revolutionaries in the fucking running out of Macy's, nigga. That was our revolutionary act for the day. We was giving white people hell. You understand? We was burning white people. We was burning their stores down. We was giving them hell. That was a revolutionary act in the streets, my nigga. And for the other people, they was digging pockets and they was turning white people upside down. Like, like I said, I paid my dues, so I could talk about it. And I'm not lambasting, nor am I frolicking in what was done. You understand? It is what it is. It happened because it was supposed to happen. And people paid a lot of their quote unquote freedom was lost, and thousands of dollars was spent in court fees and all of these other things, but it was our rites of passage. But it was our rites of passage when we didn't have a motherfucking we didn't have a rites of passage set up in the hood. So your rites of passage was become a DCEP, a low life, get down with G-Force, get down with MGP, CMP, CE, SMP. Those were the gangs that everybody, you know what I mean? There was so many different gangs and whatnot. That was our rites of passage. And now it's the Bloods and the Crips, the GDs and the BDs and all of that. I understand the cycle. I understand the cycle. I'm not co-signing the cycle, but it is what it is. If you niggas could do the fucking Harlem Shake off of goddamn gangster rap and all of the music that entertain you, well, I'm here to let you know we was living that real life. That was our soundtrack, nigga. The tunnel era was the soundtrack to what niggas was really outside doing. So fast forward to where we at right now. If I did not live that life, I wouldn't be able to. I would be haunted by my desires. If I didn't already burn my desires out when I was a teenager, I would be in my 40s trying to be a teenager right now, like a lot of these niggas is doing. And it's a lot of them. And they're not just conscious. So at this point in life, I'm having conversations about land acquisition, resources, technology, food, art, clothing, technology, shelter, shit like that. Movies. Yo, who can I do a movie with? I've been asking you niggas for eons. Who writes script? Who's a good director? Because I can't do it by myself. Tangible shit, right? We need to tell our story and we need to speak the language of the people and meet them where they at. Where they at? They on PlayStation. They at the movies. They on Netflix. These niggas is on Hulu. I know where to meet the people. They on Amazon Prime. Right? They on World Star. That's where you meet the people and you speak their language. What's their language? The language is through the culture. You don't speak Swahili to niggas that are from Canada. You speak the language of the people. The people understand, You know, they understand that algorithm. Whatever the fuck it is, they understand the algorithm. They can relate. And for those that can't relate, it's not for you. No offense. Respectfully. Everything ain't for everybody. Stop trying to fit circles into a square. So real life shit, curation of art. You know what I mean? Real life shit. Taking the taking what the ancestors and the master teachers left behind and adding value to it. Shout out to Tariq Nasheed with the museum and whatnot and the success that he got with his museum, because building institutions like that is extremely important. We need more museums. We need more institutions. We need hospitals for the midwives and whatnot and the doulas and whatnot. Even if it's a 10-family home, it could start with that. We need shit like that. They're coming for these children. Like I said before, September 15th, when they inoculate the armed forces and whatnot, they already butthurt because of what happened in Afghanistan. When they inoculate the armed forces and they give them the candy after September 15th, you are now the enemy of the state, whoever's not down with the program. Because once they get the armed forces to do that, they don't have no love for the people anymore. If they walking around with the juice in them and they had to get stuck and whatnot, you can't convince these motherfuckers to not kick your door down and not knock on your door and force you niggas to take the jab. So the conversations that should be had, right? The conversations that should have been had, right? Over the years, it's too late. You know what I'm talking about? It's too late. Can't have it now. So for those that are in a position to make moves, my nigga, you don't need more signs. Make them. This is the age of experience. You have left the age of information. You don't even need this community no more. Go and experience the information. Turn wisdom into knowledge. You, after the after the conjunction on the 21st, you was in what is known as the age of the age of Aquarius, which is the age of experience. You got to live this shit. I'm not going to do a lecture about mountain climbing when I could go climb a fucking mountain. It's two different experiences. All of this mental massive, there's no more shit to teach. In a sense, there's not, you teach from experience now. You teach from experience now. That's why the shit is dying. That's why it's deteriorating, because it's something new has to be born. I don't have a problem with the shit dissipating the way it is. I'm not holding on to this shit, because we did what we needed to do, and we did it in a way where we kept our integrity and our fucking character intact the whole way. I'm not perfect. I failed many times, but I fell forward. You understand? If you don't know how to fall forward, then you're going to die in this shit. You die in the matrix, you die in the real world. You know what I mean? This was not, this shit don't even have a rule book. You make your rules up as you go along. I failed forward a few times. Not perfect. Never said I was. And I'm not nobody's leader. I'm a teacher. I'm infallible. I'm not, what it is, I'm not infallible. I have flaws. I have flaws. The same way that everybody's whose fucking eyes that I've ever looked in has a flaw. I could see it in your eyes. And I'm not judging you, because that's not what this is. But this community has come together. They trauma bond in the community, but they don't deal with the core issues. They come together to gossip. They come together to live vicariously through characters. This is a character-based, this is a quote-unquote personality-based community. This is about personality worship. That's what social media got us. That's what we got when we got exposed to the world. When we got exposed to the world through the internet, right? Motherfuckers' heads blew up and whatnot, because it became about character. It's not character development. It's about cult of personality. And that's not always a bad thing. But cult of personality gave birth to delusions of grandeur. Cult of personality gave birth to narcissism. Cult of personality gave birth to super egos and what is known as egomaniacs. Because there's no regulation. Motherfuckers is not dealing with Sharia law. They're not dealing with spirituality or orthodox spirituality. They're not squaring this shit. As much as people could say about the Hebrew Israelites or people that got religion, at least if they are fully practicing that shit, they are developing discipline. That's what religion is, tying you niggas down and helping you become disciplined. You know what I'm talking about? As much as we want to say about it, at least that's what it got you. People got out of religion and hopped into consciousness, but kept religion, and now you have your Jesuses, and they just have different names. But all messiahs are built up to be sacrificed. You put your messiahs on the cross. You followed your messiahs. You bigged up your messiahs. You live vicariously through the messiahs, but the messiahs and the kings always get their heads cut off. Right? They looking for messiahs to after they finish with this nigga, they looking for is a witch hunt. They're looking for people to put on a stake, my niggas. You know what I'm talking about? There's a crusades taking place, my niggas. There's a fucking witch hunt, my niggas. And the dominoes are going to fall very fast. Like Blue Pill pointed out, this is a 9/11 20-year window, right? They left you niggas stranded in Afghanistan, and the Taliban is on your ass. You know what I'm talking about? Hit them likes. Hit the likes, hit the likes, hit the likes. I don't even like saying that bird ass shit. If you niggas don't know to hit the likes, I don't even know what to tell you. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know what to tell you, bro. But what I do know is I have a lecture and I gotta go. It's been very interesting and fun talking to the family. It's always love. You know what I'm talking about? I don't take none of this shit personal. This is a movie. You know what I mean? This is a movie. Get your popcorn. Learn from others' mistakes. Men who can't control their lower self, right? You all you're lusting. You're on the internet lustful, right? You have not controlled, you have not conquered your fucking lower self. Your shadow self takes over when the lights are out or when no one is looking. If you niggas don't take what you seeing, right? R. Kelly is on trial, bird ass niggas. If you niggas don't take this, the universe is speaking to you niggas. If you don't take what you're seeing, right? If you niggas continue trying to be Rome, if you niggas keep continuing following the footsteps of Rome, then what can I say? When in Rome, either you a Carthaginian or you a motherfucking Roman. There's no two ways around it. Women and men who cannot control their lower selves. This ain't the time. Work on that shit. I'm a Scorpio, right? We're ruled by our lower selves. We're haunted by it too. A constant struggle. Okay? A constant struggle. So I know the motherfucking struggle is real. But you have to deal with self-mastery. You have to, if you niggas got to go and join Kung Fu, if you got to join the Buddhists, if you got to join a yoga class, whatever you got to do, you have to master your lower self. Okay? This Rome is falling. Do not fall with it. Don't sink with the Titanic. You know what I'm talking about? Because the signs are everywhere. This shit has fallen. America losing that war in Afghanistan was the last straw. The empire is falling. It is finished. It is a fucking wrap. The next thing that you could look out for is a military coup. Okay, that's the next thing coming. They're gonna dispose of this lame duck president. Look out for that. All signs is leading to that. They're going to get rid of his ass. They cannot. The corporations are going to make a move along with the military because they run the show, and they cannot allow for the image of America to be looked at around the world. This is America's the laughing stock of the whole fucking civilized and uncivilized world at this time. Okay, Rome, the emperor has no clothes, right? Give all of that. You got to give all that shit back. Go on wish.com and get rid of it. The emperor has no clothes and Rome is falling. Olympus has fallen. Okay? We need to figure this shit out. So, you know, like I said, let the chips fall where they may. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it fucking is. You know what I'm talking about? It is what it is. You know. So, love and light. I got to get to this lecture. Peace. And I'll see y'all on Melanin Mondays and whatnot. One.